Hello, fellow idiots. Hey, this week, week one, we are going to talk about goal setting. It might not sound fun, but it is fun, and it's kind of super exciting, actually, when you set a goal that you know you can set out to achieve. So BK and I kind of just want to walk you through some of the steps to really set a good, achievable goal that you'll have a good reason and strong motivation to continue making choices that support it. So let's see, BK, what do we need to start with when we set a goal?
Oh, okay. So when I'm thinking about goals, I think about what I'm needing, what I want, and I have that extra, like, I've coined this phrase, what's reasonably dangerous, right? So like next year in August, I want to maybe try to climb Long's Peak, right? Again, in a certain amount of time. Reasonably dangerous, but reasonably dangerous for me means fun, adventurous, not normal, not your typical. So I add that little flair into my goal as well, just to keep it kind of zesty. But for me, goals is very what I need, like, honestly, like if I'm looking in the mirror and I'm a little pudgy here or here, and I'm like, all right, girl, for reals, it's time to get, it's time to drop the 10 pounds. Okay. Put the Chinese food down. Time to get real. So what I need and what I want. But for me, it needs to be measurable, needs to be obtainable, needs to be very specific. So when I'm flying by the seat of my pants. So how do we do that, Rachel?
Well, I think you just hit the nail on the head with some of that. So it needs to be very specific, but it also needs to be measurable. So you need to sit down and really think about, you say 10 pounds. Okay, well, that's super measurable, right? But it also needs to be relevant and realistic. And maybe you're doing a lot of strength training in the meantime. And so the weight is not a good measurement. So we really need to think about what's going to be the best thing to make that work. Like for me, I have a pair of pants. The pants never change, right? Only I change my body composition. So I know my goal is if I need to fit into these pants, I have to take the right steps, right? And also I need to set a time frame, because if I just say those pants don't fit right now, like, okay, I need a date. I need time bound accountability, really.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's put our money where our mouth is. What goal are you going to work on while the idiots are working on their goals? So what goal are you setting? Measurable. Okay. And what's your time? Let's hold each other accountable.
I don't know if I like all this open honesty stuff, but okay. I like to keep my goals close to my chest, but this is good for everybody, right? We all need this. I did volunteer to pace a 4-hour marathon, and while I have run many 4-hour marathons, they've never been pretty, and they've never been at a pacing capability. So, it's usually run the first 3.5 hours awesome, and then walk the next 30 minutes. So my goal is, I know I have to run a 4-hour marathon and pace it well by November 11th. So I'm really I can't drop the ball on this. And then people are counting on me too, which that makes goal setting takes it to a whole nother level.
Right. Okay, cool. So for me, my goals, I got done with some athletic endeavors and then decided, life kind of took over, really, to be completely honest. And while I did everything very well, not on par with how I usually do things. So, ate like this, did this, and not really dogging myself, because I was pretty happy with how everything turned out, except for the fact that I, like you, have those pair of pants that I can't fit in. So I'm going to at least drop 5 pounds in the next month, which, I would like to say 10, but I'm going to be realistic with myself because life isn't getting any less right now anyway. So I'm just going to have to up my game and deal with life But
Well, yes, 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 yes. I'm like, you are making a specific, measurable, achievable goal. You're not setting yourself up for failure.
right. And so goals are freaking awesome. Sometimes we just need to show up and say like, dude, the fat's got to go. And it's okay to just set just this one specific goal. For me, in order to like make good decisions when I don't want to, I have to think about my why. So, what is, you kind of talked about that, you have an extra accountability with your goal in that you have people counting on you. So talk about, versions of why behind our goals.
Sure. So some people start with the superficial whys, and there is nothing wrong with that if that's going to get you healthy. So if it's wanting to just look good, wanting to fit in your clothes, that's an okay why to have. Some people, their whys go a little deeper. I know people that have parents that are cancer survivors, or people that are struggling with sick people in their family, and they know they don't ever want that to be them. That's a really strong why for motivating them to get healthy, stay healthy, keep their family healthy. The whys can be all over the place, and as long as it's a why that works for you, that's okay.
Absolutely. If it's the jeans, hang the jeans up in the closet or in the kitchen. I mean, wouldn't that be awesome? Your spouse is like, dude, why are the jeans in the kitchen on the refrigerator?
My husband would be like, what crazy thing are you doing now? He wouldn't even bat an eye.
So some of the other things that I kind of communicate my why to. So my why is kind of run a little deeper. I think one of my big whys is I like to be healthy, like your example. My mom had breast cancer, and through my training, and we'll help educate you guys on this topic in future, kind of like a little bit of foreshadowing. Fat tissue produces estrogen, dude, for reals. I mean, okay, so it kind of makes things worse. So in the back of my mind, it's not just the scale or that I can fit into the jeans. It's this little nagging thought that I know that excess fat is just unhealthy. I mean, we seem to be in this idea right now that the scale doesn't matter. And while I agree with it to a point, sometimes the scale does matter. If you're hella strong in weightlifting, super, right? But when you look yourself in the mirror, and just to be honest but not critical, we know if we need to drop a little bit of stuff around the middle or not, right? So just kind of a nice balance there. But my other part of my why is I always like to show up and do crazy stuff. Like my significant and another and I want to go do this crazy Bataan death march next March. So you're carrying a ruck for a marathon, not flat, right? Like in terrain. And so I'm sort of thinking, oh, that sounds sort of like Ironman type difficult, right? And I don't want to sneak up to, February next year and say, holy smokes, I still can't fit into my jeans, meaning I'm not quite prepared for the shenanigans.
Right. You want to show up and know you are physically fit as you can possibly be.
I know, right? And it all comes down to that finisher picture. I was telling you that I want to have like this picture of when I finish and I have a smile on my face. I don't want to look like I'm mostly dead.
Oh, yeah. That was in reference to my finishing pictures where I do look dead.
Okay, well, that relates to your thing though of this new version of yourself that's coming up, where you're running a 4-hour marathon and you don't look dead, and you're sort of motivating other people to not be mostly dead, and you're kind of nurturing this pacing group, right?
Right, exactly.
Okay, so the whys. Can we talk a little bit about journaling?
Yeah. So in this program, we're going to help you guys with that a little bit, because we're going to hold you accountable and have you turn some things into us. But that's really just us putting training wheels on it for you right now, because the ultimate goal is that you are journaling on your own, of your own volition, and just really helping yourself. And BK, I mean, you can tell us, like, how do you feel that journaling helps people with the goals?
Oh man, I love this part. So I am an engineer, but I'm also kind of an artsy type person. And the way I coach people, I coach about pacing, I coach about attitude and stuff like that. You know, Ironman coach, it's a long day, and there's many opportunities to have pictures taken, right? And I coach people to have the best pictures that you can, not for vanity necessarily, but it's the same thing as saying, hey, I want to fit into these jeans. It's a tangible kind of make you feel good kind of goal. There ain't nothing wrong with looking good in jeans. There really isn't. I mean, it sounds sort of superficial, but it's really a culmination of, you know, you're badass and you feel good and you're ready to whoop tail whenever you want. That's what I think about when I fit into my skinny jeans, or they're not skinny jeans, because I will never fit into skinny jeans anyway. So it's the same thing with these finisher pictures. It's kind of a culmination of how you handle yourself, healthy, doing things right. And so I kind of put all these aspects together in journaling, writing it down, vision board. The act of writing stuff down really solidifies into your mind some truth, because it's hard to lie to yourself when you're writing stuff down. It really is.
Being honest but not critical. I like that. You said that earlier.
Right. So a number of ways of journaling. So if you want to take this program and kick it up a notch a little bit, it's a nice time to reset and maybe think about a different version of yourself developing and emerging. One of the things I shepherd myself through that with the process of writing stuff down. So I write down my goals, and then I get kind of clear on my whys, and those will show through on my journaling. So I need space to do that. And I find that if I do that on a consistent basis, then I start to want to do it, and it starts to just become routine. So then it becomes a lifestyle change. So then I learn a lesson of kind of evaluating, but not being critical, just looking in my journal and saying, hey, how'd you do yesterday? Or, you know, putting in comments or whatnot, and just kind of more of an objective grading of BK without dogging yourself, and just being honest. Okay, I'm not doing this very well. I need to do this. And it becomes very clear. So it's a way of being honest with ourselves, but not critical. And then we can communicate that with, you know, Coach Rachel or whatnot, and say, hey, look, I see this in my journal. I see this pattern. I have my people take a picture of it and send it to me and say, what can I do with that? We're here to help you with that. That really make the big changes. But like this journal, this is a Plum Papers journal, and it's a BA journal. It's like, if you're a paper person, you want to try this, but it's like $50. So I put one of my finisher pictures on here to give me motivation. But it's really nice because you can like put stuff in there and draw in there. You know, if you were talking like athletically, but nutrition wise, you can put stuff in there. Some other examples that it's a little less expensive. I think this one is, this is a Believe logbook. And for runners and exercisers and stuff like that, it's kind of nice because it has space for you to put like, hey, I'm going to work on this week getting this much water in, or, you know, daily water. And you can like write 3 things down you're going to focus on. Water, right? And this journal would be a wonderful way of doing that. I think it's on Amazon for, I don't know, $6. And the things that I do extra in here is like, I will print stuff out and put it in here as kind of like, this is how I help to see my why. So this one I had gotten for when I was training for Ironman Texas, but then it also, this one says, be strong, be beautiful, be you. So kind of balancing, you know, and bringing in, yeah, I want to weigh 10 pounds less and fit into my jeans, but I also want to be more BK and less whatever, lazy, drinking too much dark beer or whatever. But there's lots of options on journaling stuff. but it's the habit of writing stuff down that's important if you want to kick it up a notch.
Absolutely. And I think too, sometimes the writing it down helps you remember. I know we've all had these moments where you go and you drink all the dark beer and you kind of forgot like why you don't want to be doing that. And then you go back and write it down and you're like, oh yeah, okay, back on track, because now I'm refocused on my goal because I had a lapse, right? But then writing it down helps you kind of remember and re-solidify that. So I really think that's super helpful.
Well, and I try to point out to people, it's not that we're not trying to, we picked the dark beer as an example, and that's terrible because I never tell anybody to stop drinking the dark beer.
Well, whatever the vice well, I shouldn't call it a vice, but whatever it may be that.
The thing though that I want to emphasize is it's not necessarily not drinking the dark beer or whatever, but, and I think you'll agree with this, Rachel, is when you fall off the wagon, the skill that we're really trying to cultivate is how quick you get back up on the wagon. Because a lot of the times we fall off the wagon. And so like right now, I'm not fitting in my skinny jeans and I could very well just decide, whatever, I'm going to roll through the rest of the year and I'll wait till the first to do it. Right. And then what do you do when the first comes? So I think the skill really needed is how quick you pick yourself back up.
Oh, I completely agree with, absolutely. Once you fall off the wagon, you have to know it's okay and you get back on. You don't throw away everything else that you've already done. And I also think that it's important too, that it helps you strategize, like to have a plan so you don't fall off the wagon as much. So if you go, okay, so tonight I'm going to have 2 dark beers. Like sorry, I know we keep going back to the beer, but that's my plan. That's part of my strategy. It fits into the overall puzzle. I haven't denied myself and I'm not going, gosh, I'm beating myself up about it because it was part of the bigger picture.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And really dark beer is very important, people. It really is.
It's crucial.
Okay. So to sum it up, okay. Week 1, we are talking about goal setting. So this is an assignment, people. Set a goal. Okay. If it's, I'm going to run 5K, I'm going to run a marathon, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, sign up. You need to get it signed up. Okay. Sign up, write it down, share it if you want. 2, if you want to investigate your why, write that stuff down too. I did do something crazy obnoxious one time. And I wrote down my why on 20 stickies, Post-it notes, and I put them everywhere because I am thick-headed, stubborn, and sometimes I just don't listen. So I put them everywhere. You can do that, or you can just write it down on your Mac or whatever on a sticky. So goal setting, find the goal, write it down, do it. Don't not do it. Do it. Share it. Post it in the group if you want.
And I will walk the group through how to upload their homework assignment. So it's just personal. The only people that will see it will be either me or BK in Google Classroom. So that way you actually have a physical-ish type homework assignment. Okay. But they get to the next level. So
perfect. And then the third thing is journaling, vision board, piece of paper, Post-it note, get a fancy little journal if you want to kick it up a notch. So we're going to create for you guys kind of a written kind of how you set SMART goals, a little article. There will be a link in the group to help kind of supplement what we're talking about, give you guys a little bit idea and a synopsis of what we're talking about today as far as your week 1 assignments of goal setting, maybe touching on your why, maybe getting a journal. Right, Rachel? Coach Rachel? Boop, boop.
Yes. Yep. I think that should cover it.
Okay. So go kick tail this week, folks.
Okay. I'm excited to see everybody's goals.
Okay. Awesome.
Okay. All right. Talk to you guys later.